So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're going to be talking about R&B singer Summer Walker breaking up with her actor boyfriend Lil Meech. Just because I have to, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. I'm not celebrating the demise of a relationship. I would never, especially being that there was nothing remotely toxic or derogatory about this relationship, obviously the cheating, and other than the fact that I felt like it was too soon and not compatible, but I can say that I could have seen this coming. So we woke up today and Summer Walker decides to post some cryptic messages on her Instagram story that allude to her being single. Her and actor Lil Meech have been dating for a few months, and this is the result. I made a video about them getting together back in May, and honestly, I thought I made that video like in January or February. I didn't know that it had only been like 2 to 3 months since I've talked about them getting together. That's actually very crazy to me that it didn't even last that long. Like I said, I'm not celebrating the demise of a relationship, but I'm drawing a point to say that as women, we can't keep rushing into relationships and disregarding our emotions. We can't keep neglecting the healing process, and we can't overlook obvious signs of instability and upcoming cautions just because we want to be loved. Summer Walker and Lil Meech didn't make sense to me. I mean, I think they're actually a cute couple now that I've seen them a little bit more over these last few months, but I feel like circumstance-wise, being that she's a mother of 3 and 27 years old, and he's a young, charged-up actor at 22 years old, the circumstances did not have any equilibrium. So Summer Walker basically woke up and chose violence. She addressed the fact that she's single, and then she had the nerve to mention business owner and the child's mother to rapper Lil Baby, who is Jada Chivas. Like, so unprovoked. I think Summer Walker is spiraling, and I could have seen this coming, like I said. I don't get the vibe that she has healed from a lot of things that she's dealt with, and I feel like the way how she approached this breakup completely shows that. So I thought this was very rattling, to say the least, being that this relationship was so short-lived, and it seemed like it's about to get messy. So I've broken this video down into 2 overall main talking points. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my first point is Summer Walker is not healed. I say this because how has she been in 3 very public relationships, and she's been mainstream for like what, 3 or 4 years maybe? When I see girls jump from relationship to relationship and feel the need to always crave the attention of a man in some way, shape, or form, I know that they're not healed, and I actually resonate deeply with this because I used to act just like this. I feel like in college, I never gave myself the chance to really heal from relationships that I was in, and it actually made me way worse in selecting who to give my time and energy to down the line. So at the beginning of college, I dated someone who was older than me, and I thought because he was a recent college graduate at the time, he was in a fraternity, he had a good degree, and on paper, he's somebody that you bring to your parents, I thought that I was solidified. But being 19 and him being 24, I really wasn't thinking about how my innocence was being manipulated, and that led to the demise of the relationship. Now, I'm going to be very much detailing all of that in my book. Some of y'all have been asking me about the book. I wanted to drop it in 2020, like right when I graduated college, but when the pandemic happened, it got shelved. But I do work on it slowly. It's just I talk a lot, and my book is written in the same way that my videos are. Nonetheless, that relationship was really draining for me because when it was all said and done, I felt the need to feel loved again because I felt like my emotions and my love had been dissolved through him. So the next person I started entertaining was my ex from high school, as it was a place of comfort. We've been knowing each other since we were kids. We've already done this before, but I reopened trauma trying to escape the trauma that I was already in and not healing from it. And then when my high school ex and I didn't work out, I went 9 months being completely abstinent and not talking to anyone. But then I got with my last ex from college. And that was me getting with someone out of boredom since it was like my super senior year of college. And also out of really wanting to be loved again and out of social status, being that I was a YouTuber girl and he was a football player. But I got my heart broken real bad, completely negating the signs and only looking at how this person can make me temporarily feel versus if this person was truly somebody I should be with. And that's what I see with Summer Walker. She is constantly getting with someone who I think strokes her emotions in the beginning and completely negating what she truly needs in a relationship. And then with her being a young mother, I feel like it's aggravated because now you have children involved who I would assume she wants some type of relationship for herself, but also relationship for her kids to see too. And ain't nothing wrong with trying to find a stepdaddy for your children, but it has to be somebody who loves and respects you first, because if they don't love and respect you, how do you think they're going to treat your kids? So I feel like she's spiraling because she has been grasping for some form of relationship to essentially subdue the hurt that she's already been through. And like I said, I truly resonate with this. I feel like for those of us who are lover girls and not city girls, we actually sometimes have it worse because when you're putting your feelings first, you neglect reason and logic and sometimes common sense. I feel like common sense would have told her that Lil Meech is supposed to be a fun time. He's not somebody who you get into a public relationship with when you are 5 years his senior and you have 3 children. That part just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like where Lil Meech is in his career is where most 22-year-old men would be, having different women, being in the clubs, getting all the attention, and just being outside. And if he's single and doing that, there's no problem. But the issue is all of these young stars want a baddie on their arm, but also want to be able to do him. And I feel like Summer should have been either smart enough to know this and not play into it, and then also be weary of how much attachment she gives towards Meech. It's like, I want to feel bad for her because now the next guy that she dates is going to think there's either something wrong with her, or even if it is a good situation next, the general public is going to say the same thing that they said about Lil Meech, being that she gets into relationships in a very sporadic way. I could have told you that Lil Meech was not going to be faithful, and I feel like Summer Walker is old enough and smart enough to know that as well. So that's why I think this is her spiraling. I'm almost being delicate because I feel like there may be more of an internal issue that's affecting her mentally. So I really hope that she understands the signs and the patterns that she displayed and really learns her lesson. These little nakers are not worth it. She's too talented and too pretty to deal with bottom barrel behavior, but it's like she chooses to do so people's sympathy towards her has kind of run out. Summer, leave these little Quaker nakers alone, be done with this little boy, and just heal. I know it's easier said than done, but time truly does heal all. So my second and final point is the drama and the messiness and why I feel like Summer Walker is weird. And I think a lot of people think she's weird for other stuff, but my thing is how she approaches her controversies. So she announced she is single and she went on her Instagram story and said, "Tried my best to be Jada Waiter, but I couldn't." It was cute though. I wish him the best. And then she also said, "Can't do that cheating stuff." And I'm like, why would she bring Jada Waiter into the mix? Jada Waiter does not deserve the strays. Jada has been quiet. She's been minding her business. She's been out of drama. And Jada specifically said herself that she barely addresses stuff on the internet as well as stays off the internet because of how crazy people go in on her for her choices. Now, I will be real. I do think that society is generally harder on women than they are men. But I think it's because a lot of women just don't take accountability at all. So I feel like it offsets. Like, yeah, we be on these girls' heads, but a lot of it is because there's always this lack of accountability for their actions or repeated actions that cause backlash that people get fed up with. Nonetheless, why would she mention Jada Waiter as if she's in the same situation as Summer Walker? Jada has one baby daddy, she has one child, and from what we know, Jada has only been linked to Lil Baby during her mainstream success. People say that she used to mess with some other rappers, but what we know her from is one man. Summer Walker has now been linked to 3 men, 2 of which are actually very well-known industry men, and then her second baby daddy, Larry, I believe he's also an artist, but he's just not as big of a name. So Jada caught wind of this and came back and said, "I learned my lesson after 1 kid. MFers around here starting their own trends and trying to insert me in for laughs on the Shade Room. No." And she should have added because no, like for real. And I was like, yeah, I 1000% agree with Jada because the circumstances are completely different. And on top of that, Jada already received her dragging a long time ago. We've already called Jada out for continuously going back to a man who cheats. We've already told Jada that she can do better or that she deserves better. Now at this point, it's up for Jada to listen and apply or do what she's gonna do regardless. For Summer Walker, on the other hand, people have consistently told you, sis, you need to chill out, and she's been so quick to clap back, so quick to defend, and so quick to try to prove everybody wrong. And at one point, Jada was doing the same stuff, but now I realize that if she's still dealing with her child's father, she does it quietly. Usually if we find out that she's still creeping with Lil Baby, it's because somebody took a picture of her while she was out in public, not that she's blatantly making it public herself. So then, Jada's best friend, Des Dior, who is somebody who never ever speaks, I didn't even know how this girl sounded like for years, only knew what she looked like, but she comes to defend Jada and says, she could have gotten the same point across without mentioning Jada. We've all had our run with a man, including you. Stop it. And honestly, this is what friends are for. I would want my friend to have my back the same way because the hell you mean you want to come for my friend about something that is honestly pretty exclusive to Summer Walker based on the circumstance. Des Dior made a good point by saying, we've all had our run with a man, including you, because best believe I've had my run with a man too. Overlooking stuff, crying but taking him back, listening to his lies until I was truly fed up. Like I have no more energy to be resilient about a toxic relationship anymore. You can kick rocks, fold sides, blocks and be outside on the block before I put up with this at my big age. Summer Walker is 27 years old. She's even older than me, so it's like, at what point do we grow up and mature as women to know what we don't have to put up with these little boys? And I mean that figuratively to say that even if Lil Meech was 32 instead of 22 but still acting like this, it's still little boy stuff to be cheating on your girlfriend. You're in a public celebrity relationship, but you still have the audacity to cheat on your girlfriend. Like I've said before, audacity is 99% off, and these nakers are buying in bulk. So I think it's very crazy to allocate shady energy towards Jada when there's been so many examples of Lil Meech being unfaithful that Summer Walker completely overlooked. Like, I get what she was trying to say, but it was unnecessary, too soon, and very unprovoked. Jada made one last statement and said, MFers stay trying to be cap cool in DMs but weird publicly. This is why I be off this ish. So it seems that Summer Walker tried to apologize to Jada in her DM, but no. You publicly came for her publicly, so apologize publicly. And again, I didn't think Summer Walker was truly trying to be full-blown messy, but she knew what she was doing when she mentioned another woman. It's like some celebrities don't remember that they have millions of people who follow them and there's millions of people who know who they are. Summer Walker posted this snippet of her interview with Young Miami on her podcast show called Carisha Please, and she spoke about what she's no longer dealing with and how she approaches relationships. Here's what she had to say.
Like, once you just figure out, oh, you just gonna keep lying. Like, you ever had a situation with somebody and be like, okay, baby, because that's me. I caught you in some lies, and I'd be like, all right, look, cat's out the bag, it's cool. Mm-hmm. So now that I know what you got going on, let's just keep it 100 from here on out. Anything else you want to tell me? No. Then more shit pop out the back. I just asked you. Right. What are you doing?
I know at first skin.
Yeah.
I know. And it's just gone like I don't. You could bring the try to think of like, I don't know. Selfies together.
Look,
right here.
I have the text messages right here. What are you talking about? No, I'm blind. That's them, so.
That is so fucking funny.
I'm not dealing with that shit. Like, I'm just not. I will give up a lot of shit. I would give up a big ass house. I'll give up bags, cars, shoes, dick, head, everything. I'll give up for my peace.
So I will say this, I like the message. I just hope the message is being executed. I understand how we as young women can get tied up in a relationship and overstay our welcome and our time. I've done it multiple times, and I just hope that once you reach a certain age in life, you start to really analyze your relationship patterns. I had to realize that I was going for the same guy but different look every time. Now, I haven't dated since graduating college 3 years ago, but in college it was like the same type of guy for me again and again and again. First, I dated somebody who was really known because he was in a fraternity, and then I dated someone who was really known because he was an athlete. And there's stuff that comes with having social status on a college campus, and with being a young man with that social status, a lot of these young guys fall into it at the expense of the girls that they date. Like, for real, a lot of them really ain't ish, and Lil Meech isn't. So I want to make sure I hold him accountable. But I also had to look at myself and say, it's not just because this individual has this social title. It's also because you allow them to do things without giving real consequences so that you can feel loved and so that you can feel like you have this it factor about your relationship. And that's just me being honest. The first guy I was dating during the era of the YouTube relationship channels, and I remember almost creating a relationship channel with my first college ex, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because I would have hated to be known for that versus what I'm doing now. So as young ladies, we have to recognize the error in our ways when it comes to dating. Sometimes it's the type of men that we're going for, and then sometimes it's what we allow, and then sometimes it's not having boundaries, and then sometimes it's choices like creating permanence with these guys. I'm not pushing out no man's baby unless I'm married, and it's for the reason of protection for myself and my child if need be. I know a marriage doesn't mean that your relationship is absolved of toxicity, but I just want a higher chance of stability. I want a higher chance of my children seeing true love in their household. I want a higher chance of not having to go from relationship to relationship to relationship and be a bad example for my kids. And I feel like I can fulfill that through a marriage. This video isn't to push marriage. I'm just saying, as young women, we have to get to a certain point where we really analyze our patterns in dating and make a change if we really want something better. I hope that this was the last straw for Summer Walker and these toxic men that she's been in relationships with. Preserve your pretty pink pulsing, piping hot punishing, put it on a pedestal pussy. Being abstinent/celibate has been the best clarity of my life, and don't throw stones from a glass house. Many of us young women have taken back a cheater. Many of us have overlooked red flags. Many of us have stayed longer than what we were supposed to. But to counter that, you have to look internally at yourself and heal from your trauma. Honestly, Summer Walker, you need to call Lil Meech and ask, Meech, where my husband? Because it ain't you. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. If you haven't already, go stream my song Ceremony. It is out on all platforms. Link is down below, and we have a new song dropping in the next few days. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this one? I'm getting a little deep, okay? I'm gonna switch it up for y'all, but make sure y'all check it out. And lastly, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.
Yeah, let's go, yeah, let's go, yeah, let's go,
Let's go, everybody take note. Here's Queen Chioma reppin' Africa, West Coast. Hear my song on your waist, everybody get low. Got all my dogs with me like they out of Petco. Let's go, let's go. He see this brown skin ting, he can never let go. Stop.